Hi, I'm Dave Thompson and welcome to Hyperbright Studios. Before I start this video, please can you press the subscribe button on this channel because then you'll be able to see more of the music production videos that I'm going to be releasing in the near future. Now, what we're going to be talking about today is drums, and specifically how to record drums in a recording studio setting. Now, this is what would be considered a modern drum setup. So if you are comparing the likes of tracks from like the 60s or something like that, then this isn't the sound that you're going to be getting. This is a really modern 12 microphone setup sound and using a Neve 1084 preamp on all of the channels. So you'll be able to get that Neve sound from this recording and using really high-end microphones and microphone techniques. So the first thing that we're going to have a look at is the microphones. So let's get straight into it. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to have a look at is the bass drum, where we have a Shure Beta 91A microphone, which is a boundary condenser microphone, and that is set in a custom-made foam wedge. Also, you have a Shure Beta 57, which is designed to get the attack of the beta sound. Going up to the snare drum, which is tracks 3 and 4, after 1 and 2 being on the bass drum. You've got the Sennheiser 421 on the top, and then a Sennheiser 421 underneath as well. And you can see from another angle those bass drum microphones in there. On tone number 1 and 2, you've got PG56 microphones by Shure, and on the floor toms, you have Sennheiser 421s. On the overheads, you have Neumann KM184 microphones using a Jecklin disc system to separate the left and right areas of the stereo field. On the hi-hat, you have a C1000 microphone, and as a room microphone, you have an Aston Origin. Right, now let's get stuck into the preamps. Right, so looking at the preamps that you've got here, you've got all Neve 1084 preamps on every single channel. The only one that isn't at the moment is an SSL channel, which is being used for the voiceover. So analog 1, you've got bass drum 2, which was the 57, then 3 and 4 was snare top and bottom, and you'll notice I've reversed the phase on the bottom snare. And then tom 1 would have been the analog 5, analog 6 would have been tom 2, 7 and 8 were actually split before, and they were both Neve 1084s. And as far as I've taken mainly presets from Joe Chiritarelli, and there's quite a few presets in there. Most of them are quite quiet, so you have to crank the preamps afterwards. The preamps would have been louder than as they are here. Going over to here, you've got overheads left and right, which would have been 3 and 4. And I tend to use Avalon preamps as overheads because I used some of them at university and I really liked the overhead sound that you got from there. Number 1 was a room mic. Number 2 was the hi-hat mic. So this is analog 1, 2, 3 and 4 from the Apollo X4. And then going into the project here, you've got all of the drums with no other effects on them. So obviously this was a drum session that had a lot of double bass drum pedal going on in there. So going on to the bass drum, you'll hear that bit of 91A. So that has a nice overall sound, but it doesn't have an awful lot of attack to it. So that's where the SM57 comes in. Now, together, they're both kind of missing elements, but what I do is I give the engineer both of the sounds, and that gives them a chance to blend what they've got there. Looking at the snare drum top and bottom, That's them both together, snare top. In fact, the snare top by itself sounds great. Because the snare bottom, you're getting a lot more of the wires sound. You get a lot more snap from the bottom than you do from the top. So blending them together, you get a good sound. Going to the toms, let's find a good tom fill. So what you've got here is tom 1, tom 2, and then tom 3 is doing the fill. So sometimes what I would do is I would pan these quite extremely to get a bit more stereo-ness into the equation. So you get something like this. I mean, that's not exactly mixed, but you get the idea. The tom 4 just needs cranking up a bit so we can actually hear it. And then we've got that's interesting. That's mostly the China is coming up on that tom 4 mic quite a lot, so we'll have to watch out for that. But listening, that's the actual tom sound of tom 4. So really nice. Those Sennheiser 421s get a really nice balance. Hi-hat. I mean, generally in hi-hat, in drum mixes, you've got too much hi-hat, but it's there if they want the option. That's the room microphone. So what you can do with the room microphone, if you've got it, is you can treat it like parallel compression. You can really cram the hell out of the room microphone and then just blend it into the overall mix of the drums. So that is the overall drum sound, very, very crudely mixed. Not really mixed at all, to be honest. It's just there's a bus compressor on this that is like just a general DMG audio. It's just how the thing loads up. So as you can hear, the drums sound meaty as anything without really very much processing on them. I mean, just to show you on the track here, I mean, I've got nothing on. I've just got them as they came in. I could add a bit of Avid heat. But like I said, there's no actual mixing done on these drums whatsoever, so it just gives you an idea of what things sound like without any actual processing on, and the mixing engineer is the rest is their job. Right, I hope that was all really helpful for you and informs you on your choices when you are recording drums yourself. Please subscribe to the channel and I will see you next time.